We have the pleasure to host Professor Kabir Hassan. I just want to make a short introduction about Professor Kabir Hassan, even if there is, I think, in the Islamic financial world, there is nobody that don't know exactly who is Professor Kabir Hassan. He is the most cited researcher and author in Islamic finance and economics. He is in the top 1% scholar in the world in the rank of Stanford University and Elsevier. He is top 1% of peers to publish on referred article per year since 1990, and he already published more than 570 papers and more than 94 books chapter, and he served as editor in more than 55 journals. From the point of view of citation, we have more than 30,000 citations, and with astonishing index in every ranking. So it's a very pleasure for us to host this keynote of Professor Kabir Hassan. Kabir, please take the floor.
Well, good morning from New Orleans and happy Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving in the United States. And thank you for inviting me to give this lecture. So the title of my lecture, The State of Islamic Finance in Europe. So there are two parts to my presentation. First part, I will run you through what is the current state of Islamic finance industry in various parts of European countries. And the second one, I'm going to specifically talk about the education of Islamic finance and different aspects of it. So pretty much I'm going to follow on my slides to keep my thought process in track. So this is the introduction, development Islamic finance in selected European countries. There are 3-tier countries. First tier is United Kingdom, Luxembourg. I'm going to explain why. Tier 2 is France. Tier 3 is Germany, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Sweden, Belgium, Greece, Denmark, and Norway. And then global expansion of Islamic finance education, conclusion, and I'll end with my recommendation. So the European Islamic finance industry is relatively new, with its roots dating back to early Islamic trade practices. In the 7th century, Arab Muslim conquerors introduced the concept of riba, leading to the development of trade credit known as Murabaha in Europe. Islamic finance spread to parts of Europe during the medieval period, but faced disruptions during the Crusade period. In the 20th century, European banks encountered requests for interest-free transactions in the Gulf, leading to a gradual awareness of Islamic finance. And in the 1970s and 80s, Muslim immigrants brought knowledge of Islamic finance to Europe, leading to the establishment of Islamic banks and financial institutions. Significant integration of Islamic finance in Europe began in 1982 when Al Baraka Investment Company acquired Hargreaves Securities and turned it into an Islamic bank. First Islamic retail bank in Europe, the Islamic Bank of Britain, was established in 2004. The European Islamic finance industry is estimated to be worth around 30 billion, with around 150 Islamic financial institutions. The UK is the largest Islamic finance market in Europe, followed by Germany and France. Factors driving the industry's growth include a growing Muslim population in Europe, government support, and increasing public awareness, and the European Islamic finance industry is expected to reach $1 trillion in assets by 2025. So developing a suitable Islamic finance laws and regulations in Europe is a challenge that needs attention. Progress has been made, but more work is needed to create a regulatory structure accepted by all stakeholders. Legal and regulatory reforms are necessary because Islamic financial institutions are governed by the same laws as conventional institutions despite their fundamental differences. Consequences of this include hindrance to innovation and the need for costly compliance methods for Islamic financial institutions. Government approaches to reforming regulations will impact the industry's success. So let's talk about the development of Islamic finance in selected European countries. Let's start with UK. Islamic finance in the UK has evolved from its beginning in 1980s to become an established part of the financial sector. Initially, only large institutions engaged in commodity murabaha transactions and retail Islamic finance products were introduced in the 1990s, albeit at a limited scale. Growth in the Islamic finance industry in the UK since 2000 can be attributed to factors like a diverse Muslim population, supportive regulations, and the presence of domestic and international Islamic finance institutions. The UK government has actively created a legal and regulatory environment conducive to Islamic finance growth, and the Financial Services Authority (FSA) unified regulatory oversight, benefiting the industry by resolving complications from previous regulatory regimes. The Financial Services and Markets Act 2000 allowed the establishment of Islamic banks in the United Kingdom, granting them equal status with conventional banks. In 2014, the UK government established a task force to support Islamic finance development, leading to recommendations for a Sharia-compliant financial product. The UK now has 5 fully Sharia-compliant banks and over 20 Islamic financial institutions with assets totaling over £20 billion. Innovative Islamic finance products such as sovereign sukuk bonds have been introduced in the United Kingdom. Islamic finance growth in the UK is driven by both Muslim and non-Muslim customers attracted by its ethical principles. Professional education and training programs for Islamic finance are available in the United Kingdom, offered by professional institutes and universities. The UK's experience with Islamic finance can serve as a valuable model for other countries. The UK is a leading center for Islamic finance, even among the OECD countries. Then talk about Luxembourg. Luxembourg Islamic finance industry is growing rapidly due to its favorable business environment and regulations. The country has attracted Muslim investors and Islamic banks, leading to the establishment of various Islamic financial institutions. Luxembourg's involvement in Islamic finance dates back to the late 70s, with the first Islamic financial institution established in 1978. Key milestones include the establishment of the first European Islamic insurance company in 1982 and the Luxembourg Stock Exchange becoming the first European exchange to quote sukuk in 2002. A task team was set up in 2008 to identify impediments to Islamic finance expansion and make recommendations to improve the country's attractiveness in this regard. The Luxembourg government implemented various measures in response to the task team's recommendations, including streamlining approval processes and introducing tax incentives for the Islamic finance platforms and its investors. While Luxembourg does not have a full-fledged Islamic bank, it is a leading country in managing Islamic funds and assets. As of 2020, Luxembourg ranked 4th in the world in dealing with Islamic funds and 5th in Islamic assets under management, with assets exceeding $3 billion USD. Then talk about France. France has a substantial Muslim population. There is potential for Islamic finance growth. The French government, led by Christine Lagarde, expressed strong support for Islamic finance back in 2008. When she was a minister at that time, the Autorité des Marchés Financiers (AMF) has been instrumental in facilitating the development of Islamic finance since 2007. France made legislative amendments to accommodate Islamic finance, such as removing double stamp duty. France's legislative reform faced opposition on the grounds of violating the principle of separation of church and state leading to a declaration of unconstitutionality by the Constitutional Council in 2009, and that is a big setback for the Islamic finance industry in France. The secular nature of the French constitution has been a hindrance to Islamic finance development. Despite the setback, Islamic finance has made some progress in France. Introduction of the first Sharia-compliant deposit scheme in 2011, introduction of 10-year Islamic home finance scheme based in Murabaha, the presence of 6 Sharia-compliant funds, 69.2 million in assets under management in 2012. Now, Germany has a history of Muslim presence with a Muslim population over 5 million or 6% of the population. The early history of Islamic finance in Germany was marred by a pyramid scheme related to profit-sharing silent partnerships in the 1990s. Several Sharia-compliant investment funds in Germany faced failure in the past 2 decades. Unlike some countries, Germany lacks specific regulations for Islamic banks and religiously motivated financial institutions. Now, the German Banking Act lists financial contracts subject to regulation, and only conventional contracts were initially included. Institutions considered bank and financial institutions in Germany are supervised by the regulator BaFin. The classification of institutions offering Islamic finance products as banks or financial institutions is still a subject of debate. Arabsco Asset Management offers Islamic compliant funds, primarily targeting socially responsible investors. A significant development in Germany's Islamic finance market was the granting of a banking license of KT Bank in 2015, allowing it to offer a full range of banking services and legitimizing the industry. Now, let's talk about Italy. Italy has a growing Muslim population with around 5% of its residents being Muslim. The Union of Arab and European Banks has been operating in Italy since 1972 with shareholders from Arab and Italian banking organizations. Italy has shown interest in Islamic finance to strengthen ties with Arab countries. The first significant event for Islamic banking in Italy took place in 1994 during a symposium in Rome, laying the basis for the sector's future development. In 2002, a symposium on Islamic banking was held in Rome under the ABI, leading to the first Islamic transaction in Italy involving Murabaha-based deals. Italy has not implemented successful legislation or regulation reforms for Islamic finance, but the government has initiated efforts to understand its regulatory and supervisory implications. The approach of Italian regulators has been to let market forces determine the timing of Islamic finance industry development in Italy. Despite its potential, Islamic finance industry in Italy has not achieved any significant milestones, and there are currently no Islamic financial institutions in the country. Islamic finance in Austria. Austria has a long history of Islam, officially recognized in 1912, with approximately 7% of the population being Muslim as of 2016. The Financial Market Authority and the Austrian Central Bank have jurisdiction over the banking industry in Austria. Austria's existing legal framework did not allow Islamic finance operations until May 2010, when the Austrian Standards Institute developed rules for Islamic finance. There has been resistance from the Turkish cultural community in Austria, particularly the TKG, against Islamic finance. Very strange, but that is also true. The achievements of the Islamic finance industry in Austria have been minimal, with little progress and cautious supply in Austrian national market. BAWAG PSK is the only Austrian bank to have created a Sharia-compliant product, and there are no Islamic insurance companies in Austria. Now, talking about Switzerland, Dar al-Mal al-Islami was founded in Switzerland in 1981, making the beginning of contemporary Islamic finance in 1980s. Switzerland has a Muslim population over 6%, Islamic banks in Switzerland must adhere to the same legal requirements as other banks, with no specific regulatory framework for Islamic banks. They need to obtain a banking license from the Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, or called FINMA. Pure lending and financing activities are only subject to money laundering regulations, not banking regulations. The first Islamic bank in Switzerland, Faisal Private Bank, opened in 2006 but later turned its Swiss operation into a family office in 2012. Switzerland has become a hub for Sharia-compliant wealth management for high net worth individuals from the Middle East, particularly with UBS. There are currently no sukuk available on the Swiss stock exchange. The takaful insurance market in Switzerland is relatively new and undeveloped, with only a few providers of takaful products and services. Some Swiss reinsurance companies offer Islamic or takaful products mainly through their Middle East branches. Let's talk about Islamic finance in Sweden. Despite an 8% of Muslim population, Islamic finance hasn't gained traction in Sweden. Sweden has an interest-free financing initiative since the 1960s, notably JAC, which provides interest-free saving and lending but is not religion or politically motivated or affiliated. The main financial regulatory authority in Sweden is the Swedish Financial Supervisory Authority, and Sweden's central bank is the Riksbank, responsible for financial system stability and monetary policy. The FSA claims there are no barriers to performing Islamic banking in Sweden, but issues may arise regarding real estate laws and taxation. Currently, there are no Islamic banks or financial institutions operating in Sweden. Islamic finance in Belgium. Belgium has a significant and growing Muslim population of over 870,000, which makes up more than 7% of the country's population. Despite the Muslim population growth, the Islamic finance market in Belgium is virtually non-existent, presenting opportunity for businesses looking to enter this sector. The regulatory framework for credit institutions in Belgium is primarily influenced by European directives and national law, with no specific regulations for Islamic banks. The Belgian market has specific rules like double taxation on some Islamic financing operations, which could be a barrier to Islamic finance expansion. Currently, Belgium lacks Islamic banks, takaful, or Islamic investment companies. Islamic finance in Greece. Greece shares historical relations with Muslim nations due to its Mediterranean environment. The Greek economy has not embraced Islamic banking despite a significant presence of Christian and Muslim communities from the Arab world. Reasons for the lack of collaboration between Greek and Islamic banking systems include a strong affiliation with Western culture and mistrust due to the history of hostilities between Greeks and Turks. Greek banking rules and regulations are in control of Islamic financial institutions in Greece, and the Bank of Greece supervises all Greek banks. Excuse me. Currently, Greece has no Islamic banks or sukuk available, but there is a growing demand for Islamic banking services, suggesting potential future opportunities. Islamic finance in Denmark. The first European Islamic bank, the Islamic Bank International of Denmark, was established in 1982 but faced financial troubles, losing over 30% of its equity and ultimately liquidating in 1986 due to excessive risk-taking and overexposure to a single client. Denmark's financial institutions governed by the Financial Business Act. Islamic finance in Denmark is currently not available, and there are no specific regulations for Islamic banking products. There is a growing demand for Islamic banking products and services in Denmark, prompting financial institutions to explore ways to meet this demand. sorry. Islamic finance in Norway. Norway has approximately 148,000 members of Muslim organizations, which equates to about 2.8% to 5% of the Norwegian population. Financial Supervisory Authority of Norway is a financial regulator responsible for overseeing the Norwegian financial markets. The Act on Financial Undertaking is the principal legislation that applies to Norwegian banks, addressing financial institutions, banking licenses, and accounting standards. There are currently no specific regulation or laws in Norway governing Islamic financial institutions. Norway does not have any Islamic financial institutions, which is consistent with the absence of such institution in most Western countries. So that was the first part of my presentation, just giving you a brief overview of what is happening in several European countries. Now let's talk about the global expansion of Islamic finance education. Now the popularity of Islamic finance and economics programs, there is a growing demand. Islamic finance and economics programs have witnessed a significant increase in demand over the past several years. Individuals, businesses, and institutions are increasingly recognizing the ethical and sustainable nature of Islamic finance, leading to a higher demand for professionals well versed in this field. Increasing enrollment, universities and education institutions offering Islamic finance and economics programs have reported a steady increase in enrollment. Students from diverse backgrounds, including those from non-Muslim majority countries, are showing a keen interest in pursuing a career in Islamic finance, driving the growth of these programs. Now, incorporate Islamic finance programs beyond finance, importance of interlinking areas of science. Incorporating Islamic finance programs beyond finance is essential to ensure a comprehensive understanding of the Islamic economic system. It involves interlinking with various areas of science such as law, humanities, social studies, and religious studies, promoting a holistic approach to education. Now, integration in law schools, humanities, social studies, and religious schools. Islamic finance programs should be considered in diverse educational institutions, including law schools, humanities departments, social studies programs, and religious schools. This integration allows for a broader understanding of Islamic economics as a way of life beyond just financial transactions. Now, strategies for promoting Islamic economics finance education. First one is awareness campaigns. These campaigns aim to educate the public and potential students about the benefits and importance of Islamic economics and finance. They can include workshops, seminars, and targeted marketing efforts to raise awareness and generate interest. And I must say Professor Paolo has been doing a great job holding this conference almost every year on a regular basis, and that generates awareness in Italy specifically and the European countries in general. I know many people talk about his journal. He publishes a regular Islamic finance journal, which is getting traction. Citation is increasing and so on. Collaboration with industry, crucial for promoting Islamic economics and finance education. By partnering with financial institutions, businesses and organizations, education institutions can align their programs with industry needs and ensure the curriculum remains relevant and practical. Industry collaboration can also provide valuable partnership and job placement opportunities for students. Networking opportunities. Creating platforms for professional scholars and students to connect and collaborate allows the exchange of ideas, knowledge, and experiences. Networking opportunities can include conferences, forums, and online communities, fostering a vibrant ecosystem of individuals passionate about Islamic economics and finance. Now, involving emerging areas in finance like digitalization, tokenization, decentralization, The emerging areas in finance, including digitalization, tokenization, and decentralization, have a significant impact on Islamic finance practices. These advancements require a deep understanding and integration of Islamic principles. The education system must adapt to incorporate these areas, ensuring future professionals are well equipped to navigate the changing landscape. Importance in educational system. The incorporation of emerging areas in finance is crucial in the educational system. It prepares students to embrace technological advancements and adapt Islamic finance principles to the evolving digital world. By educating students in these areas, we can foster innovation and ensure the continued relevance and growth of Islamic finance. Now, collaboration between Islamic economics and Western educational institutions, opportunities for knowledge exchange. Collaboration between Islamic economics and Western educational institutions presents a unique opportunity for the exchange of knowledge and expertise. Both sides can benefit from sharing insights, research, and best practices, leading to a better understanding and promotion of Islamic economics and finance globally. Cross-cultural understanding. The collaboration between Islamic economics and Western education institutions also fosters cross-cultural understanding. By working together, diverse perspective, tradition, and approaches are shared, resulting in a more inclusive and holistic educational experience. This cross-sectional understanding enhances the effectiveness of educational programs and promotes mutual respect and appreciation. Now, advancements in technology and Islamic finance education, enhancing access. Advancement in technology will enhance access to Islamic finance education. Online learning platforms, webinars, and digital resources have made it easier for students and professionals to access quality educational material and programs, allowing greater participation and knowledge sharing. Role of online learning platforms. Online learning platforms have played a vital role in promoting Islamic finance education. They provide a flexible and interactive learning environment, allowing individuals to learn at their own pace and engage with experts. These platforms also facilitate networking opportunities and collaboration among learners. And there are a number of such online platforms which offer certificate programs, including AOFI, Educational Auditing and Education for Islamic Financial Institutions based in Bahrain. And AOFI is going to have its annual conference in 29th and 30th of this month. And I belong to this group. I am the chairman of their education board, and we try to oversee different types of certification programs that AOFI offers. Integration of technology in curriculum. The integration of technology in the curriculum is essential to keep pace with the advancement in the financial industry. Education institutions should incorporate innovative teaching methods such as simulation exercises and case studies to provide students with real-world exposure to technological tools used in Islamic finance. Now, what are the future prospects and challenges? Opportunities for growth. The future of Islamic economic finance education holds significant opportunities for growth. As the demand for Islamic finance continues to increase globally, there is a need for more educational programs and qualified professionals in the field. This presents an opportunity for institutions to expand their offerings and meet the growing demand, contributing to the advancement of Islamic economics and finance education. And how to overcome the barriers? There are challenges to overcome in the expansion of Islamic economics and finance education. These include addressing misconceptions about Islamic finance, ensuring the availability of qualified faculty, and establishing accreditation standards. By addressing these barriers and actively seeking solutions, the global expansion of Islamic economics and finance education can be more effectively pursued. Now, let's conclude. Before I conclude, let me summarize. So, Islamic finance has been developing in Europe over the past few decades, but its development is not uniform across the region. Government can play a crucial role in accommodating Islamic finance with their existing financial system to foster further growth. Different countries in Europe have adopted various approaches to accommodate Islamic finance. The top-tier countries with the most advanced development of Islamic finance in Europe include the United Kingdom and Luxembourg. The middle-tier countries have seen some growth, but not significant progress. This tier includes France. The remaining countries, Germany, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Sweden, Belgium, Greece, Denmark, and Norway, are in Tier 3 with development of Islamic finance to date. So if you look at the tier that I mentioned, so Tier 1, developmental level at different stage. So Tier 1, the existing legislation and regulation has been amended or new legislation has been introduced to ensure Islamic finance products are treated equally with their conventional counterparts. Financial regulators have offered clarity regarding Islamic finance products or the operation of Islamic financial institutions. Multiple Islamic financial institutions currently exist in the region. Governments or regulators have appointed a group or committee to specifically look into how Islamic finance can be accommodated within the existing system. Transparent and proactive government support in trying to accommodate Islamic finance. As I mentioned, the two countries belong to this group, the United Kingdom and Luxembourg. Tier 2, existing legislation regulation has been amended or new legislation has been introduced to ensure Islamic finance products are treated equally with their conventional counterparts. Although at a lower level than Tier 1, financial regulators have offered clarity regarding a few Islamic finance issues. Extremely few or no existing Islamic financial institution in the region. No proactive government support in trying to accommodate Islamic finance. A country that belongs to this group is France. And Tier 3, no existing legislation regulation has been amended, nor has new legislation been introduced to ensure Islamic finance products are treated equally with their conventional counterparts. No clarity for financial regulators on Islamic finance instruments or institutions. Extremely few or no existing Islamic financial institutions. No proactive government support in trying to accommodate Islamic finance. And the countries that belong to this group, Germany, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Sweden, Belgium, Greece, Denmark, and Norway. So, what is our final recommendation? Now, what we can do, we can use a European Union single market regulatory framework to accommodate Islamic finance in a unified manner. To harmonize the development of Islamic finance across Europe, it is recommended that European Union single market regulations be used to accommodate the industry. Except for the UK, which recently left the EU single market, the remaining countries in the study are part of the European Union single market. This makes European Union regulations an ideal framework to use for accommodation. Government should use a substance over procedure policy when taxing Islamic finance products. One of the biggest impediments to the development of Islamic finance in Europe has been the competitive disadvantage of Islamic finance products due to heavier taxation than the conventional counterparts. Just to let you know that Paolo, and Aisha have published a book on Islamic finance in Eurasia. It was published by Edward Elgar, and I think it will hit the book store pretty soon. So I urge you to buy this book. It's called Islamic Finance in Eurasia, edited by Kabir Hassan, Paolo Biancone, and Aishat Muniza. So we belong from 3 different countries. And thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Professor Kabir Hassan. It's a great pleasure to host you in our conference and also in our university as a research scientist. And okay, we are at the end of these 3 days of Turin Islamic Economic Forum. We have something to say about the parallel session, and I want to leave the floor to David and Michele that manage in a very well way the technological and also the content part of the parallel session. So David and Michele, please, do you want to share with us the best paper award for today? Please, David.
Thank you so much, Professor. So here we are. Thank you to everybody. Some colleagues are not there, obviously, for other meetings or other staff in their hosting institutions. That's amazing because we have 9 parallel sessions. So we host several colleagues, train more than 23 countries, and that's amazing because with Michele and with all the colleagues, we are able to see, for instance, case studies from Thailand, from Nigeria, or other countries. So that's amazing and particularly interesting for all of us. So as Professor Paolo Biancone said, we prepare the list of best papers. So I would ask also to Michele to share the list, and obviously all the colleagues will be then contacted personally. So the first best paper is based on the Halal Tourism parallel session, and is awarded to Cemil Gunduz with the paper Difficulties Encountered by Muslim Tourists in Accessing Halal Food in Italy and Suggestions for Solutions. So great pleasure, Cemil, to giving you this best paper. The second one is referred to the sustainability category. So we are glad to award Admir Meskovic and Hamira Kozaribi, hoping that I say in a good way name and surnames, for the paper Opportunities and Challenges of Incorporating ESG Factors in Islamic Banking, a case study of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So congratulations also to these 2 colleagues. I don't know if you are in this online session. I think probably not there. So the next one is the best paper in the innovation category, awarded to Umar Idris, and the title of the paper is Artificial Intelligence, the Key to Achieving Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 in Islamic Finance. So Umar also congratulates to you for this paper. The next one is the best paper for social integration. It is awarded to Azaz Vorastur for the paper Driving Sustainable Innovation, Islamic Financial Literacy and Inclusion in the 5 southernmost provinces of Thailand. So congratulations also to you, Azaz, for your presentation and also for the paper that you submit. So the last but not least is the best paper in the halal and business category. It is awarded to Ahmad Mahudi. The title of the paper is A Sustainable Business Model Innovation of a Halal Beef in the Indonesian Muslim minority area. So congratulations also to Ahmad for the award and for the paper that presents. I think, Michele, that that's all, because we award everything about this. What happened now? What happened at the end of this conference Basically, all the authors will receive the participation certificate, the certificate for your participation, and obviously also the best paper for these 5 categories. We also contact these authors to share the opportunity to host a dedicated special issue within the European Journal of Islamic Finance, managed by Professor Paolo Biancone and also Associate Editor Professor Kabir Hassan and also the others. And obviously, for all the presenting papers, we will host you. We also already received some papers in the European Journal of Islamic Finance, and we obviously, as soon you send your contribution, we can also start the reviewing process. On my side, thank you so much for your participation, and thank you so much for your passion and close cooperations also for chairing the parallel session. Thank you.
Thank you, Davide. And I want to leave the floor to Alberto Brugnoni for some closing remark. Alberto, go. We cannot hear you.
I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Paolo. And what can I tell? Well, first of all, I'm happy to...
We cannot hear you again.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, third time. Thank you, and Paolo. And what can I say? I'm very happy, first of all, to hear that the first paper was given, the first prize was given to a paper on halal food. So perhaps, Paolo, this will give us the opportunity next time to have a in-presence meeting with some good Italian halal food to partake. This said, I'm very much impressed by the width and the depth and the length of presentations. I went through some papers, and we went from the classical Salam contract on agricultural production and the halal ecosystem, and then we jumped to fintech, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence. Then we moved to accounting and dispute resolution. Accounting is a key element, as we know, and I think that Torino will host the accounting conference next year, very important conference on accounting. And this accounting in Islamic finance is very important because it's very much different from the conventional. Then we moved to ESG, green financing, smart city. Was a presentation of smart city in Islamic source. The role of Sharia boards, and last but not least, Muslim minorities in multicultural countries. And nowadays, all countries are multicultural. So the importance of Islam finance for integration. So what can I say? I was very much impressed, and I think that this sort of events, I mean TIEF European Journal of Islamic Finance, are again, sending the right signal to everybody in society in the worldwide to have some positive thoughts, positive thinking. In building in trying to build a better, more decent world than the world we are living into now. Thank you so much, and all the best to everybody.
Thank you, Alberto. Before the end, I just want to show you a short video about the city of Turin. And we hope that next edition of the conference in 2025 will be physically in our city, also to taste Italian halal food. So, Davide, please.
Paolo, so you mean 2024, right?
25, every 2 years.
Oh, you do it every 2 years. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, but we can make an exception for you.
Yeah, I would like to come. Sure. Great.
Okay, so at the end, I want to thank again Professor Kabir Hassan for the participation of this session and also for the organization of the conference. Professor Burhan Uluyol for this morning session, but also my colleagues Silvana Secinaro, Valerio Brescia, Davide Calandra, Federico Kmet, Federico Lanzalonga, Michele Oppioli, Ginevra De Gregori, Lara De Marchi e Rita Tamburini for the organization of everything during these 3 days. And the last but not least, Alberto Brugnoni for the every year commitment for these great events that we organize during the Turin Islamic Economic Forum. So thank you again, Alberto. And see you soon. As we told you, we have our journal. The call for paper is open every day. And also, we want to stress the opportunity to create and to chair a special issue for a topic that you think could be interesting for our community of researchers. So thank you again for all the participants and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.